Welcome back to the Fine Print. I'm Fab, this is Dion, and this is Baby Mullo. We are putting him to sleep, but we felt the need to just take the time and just address everything that's going on right now. Because it's a really, really crazy time, especially being black, and I think just like having to endure and survive today. So we felt the need to address how we feel about the things that's going on today and how it affects us as a couple and our son growing up in today's world. So if you want to stay tuned and hear what we have to say about what's going on with the racism and police brutality, please stay tuned. So we're going to start off with just giving a little bit of background about how we grew up and when we started realizing there was racism.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing for us to identify really when we first encounter racism, I feel like both my parents come from the Caribbean, so they kind of grew into America. So I wasn't really introduced to racism, I think, till like high school.
Yeah.
I don't even think.
Same thing. My parents are from the Caribbean. I didn't really experience that.
They were very open-minded to American society, so they never used to say,
don't talk to this person.
Yeah, they
don't
never
go
did
here.
none of that growing up. Like, I had a really loving family. Both my parents were like, treat everybody like how you want to be treated. And I went to Catholic school, so.
And we both come from a very loving background.
Yeah.
So same thing with me. I didn't really understand like what race was. Even when as a child in elementary school and high school, I didn't really understand race, a clarity of a difference in race. Yeah, of course I understood we had different complexions and we were different people.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that it was bad to be a black person until I was in high school where people were like, oh, well, you're black and, you're Spanish and you're white. And there was like all these different comments towards you being black or Spanish or white.
Well, definitely it was the whole color thing. Like, if you were light skinned, dark skinned.
Yeah, and complexion thing always been a thing.
Your colorism, I think that was like the biggest thing
always.
that we had. It was like, oh, you're dark.
And
you're
within
light.
the black community or Caribbean community, it's always been colorism, but it wasn't a separation within people.
Yeah.
Like treat black people like crap, or make it seem like they're less than what they are.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. I think you want me to just tell my story a little bit?
Yeah.
So I lived in California for about a few years, and when I lived out there, I had a boss that really made me feel like I worked in an environment where it was all white and I was the only black person, and I did sometimes really, really feel it when they would make comments like, is that a black girl thing? And, oh, do black girls do stuff like that? And I'm just like, I'm a regular person. Well, I can just be a regular person. Why does everything have to pertain towards my race? And I think that's when I really started noticing that race was a thing. I don't think racism ever really went away. I think we're just legally allowed to all be in the same space now. But it's definitely clear as day that it's still relevant from the way police treat us.
Yeah.
Even you.
Yeah, definitely. Like, growing up, as a young black male, I had my run-throughs with the cops. Also with racism, I feel like racism is actually, we have racism within our own race. I feel like the African Americans and like people with Caribbean descent, they had that whole battle between, oh, my ancestors grew up here, so we went to the struggle. Whereas the Caribbeans, oh, you guys came from an island and got the opportunities.
And people in the Caribbean had their own struggle.
Yeah,
they had slavery in the Caribbean too. It's not just slavery in America. Like, there were slaves in the Caribbean too.
And I was talking to you the other day. I was like, we all were on the same slave boat. They just made different stops along the way. Like, they stopped in Jamaica, they stopped in Haiti, they stopped in Puerto Rico, they stopped in DR. And then he stopped in America, so we all were on that slave ship, and we all had different stops. Some people got better stops than other. Racism, but amongst African Americans, Caribbeans, Dominicans, all type. We all black, so we all need to like try to keep that same that same unity. Where I feel like we just battling with each other, also with the other races, and
Yeah, and I think I used to always think that New York is the most diverse place to be, so I never wanted to leave New York, and I felt like we had the most amount of like races that could compare to difference and being in a different environment, exploring different cultures. But racism is still here clear as day within the workplace. Basic things like when you go shopping, I've been followed shopping with my son before.
When we went to the beauty store.
Beauty supply store, with my son, and I had a stroller, but I was putting all the products on the counter, and I still was being followed around the store just because I was black. And it does hurt my feelings a lot of times for me to feel like, I feel bad for, I think, my son. Like, it's crazy.
I just remember, like, the other day when you were pregnant. Remember when you were pregnant and you had your cravings? I think you told me.
I used to crave sandwiches a lot.
Yeah.
I eat sandwiches on a normal, but when I was pregnant, it was just, like, on a whole nother level. I wanted either something very, like, citrusy or a sandwich.
She begged me to take her to Subway's.
I said, please, babe, I really feel like eating a sandwich. Can you please take me to Subway's so I can get a...
Tuna melt.
Yeah, I think it was a tuna melt.
Yeah, it was a tuna melt.
I said, I've really, really been craving it. And I was at the end. This is, like, towards, like, 7-8 months pregnant. So I was ready. But, so we go to Subway's, and he pulls up by... The block was empty, by the way. There was no cars on the block.
And it was in Brooklyn, Brownsville.
It was in Brownsville, Brooklyn. And it is a busy street. It's on Picken Avenue. Yeah. And it just so happened to be empty because it was, like, around 7 p.m. at night.
It was late.
And I ran into the store, and he just pulled up, like, across the street by the hydrant. Yeah. But the streets were empty. So, literally, we could have pulled up anywhere, but he just pulled up directly across the street from the Subway just to make it easier for me. So, I'm looking, and I keep seeing this car, like a unmarked car.
It was an unmarked SUV.
Mm-hmm. It keeps rotating back and forth, back and forth.
They made eye contact with me. I seen them from once I pulled over. Anybody that, from Brooklyn, when the D's is looking
at you. When they about to pull you over.
I made eye contact them from the beginning. I was like, okay, yeah, they're about to pull me over.
Mm-hmm. If they're about to pull you over. And I kept looking outside, and I keep seeing that they're circling the block, and I'm like, what's going on here?
So I'm in the car. I'm waiting for the car.
You're waiting for them to talk to you, basically.
I'm on the phone. Like, I'm just waiting for them to pull out. I already pulled out my wallet, my ID.
Because he knew he automatically knew. But I've had my encounters with cops, and I've always been uncomfortable with it. I don't think they've ever made it a comfortable environment for you to feel safe. I feel scared and that I might die whenever I encounter a cop. So I come out the Subways, and I cross the street, and I see that the cops pulled him over.
As soon as she reaches for the door, I see lights behind me. I'm like, it's been like, honestly, it's been like 5 minutes since they've been behind me.
I literally stopped.
And like...
I was like, what's going on here?
And I was so calm. Like, at that point, like, I already knew what was going to happen. So, like, I seen her face. Like, her face was like full of like fear. I'm like, baby, just relax.
Because I'm pregnant, and at this point, I'm just like, are we gonna get shot at? Like, I don't have a gun in my hand. It's just a bag with a Subway sandwich. And is it safe for me to enter the car?
It's like 4 of them hopping out the SUV. So I'm like.
So I paused, and I was like, what's going on? Is it safe for me to get in the car because I don't have anything in my hand but a sandwich?
And they allowed to get in.
And he was like, yeah, just get in the car. So I'm like, I get in the car, and he comes to the window, and he starts talking to me.
So he's talking to me at that point. So he's like asking me for my license registration. I already had it ready, so I gave it to him. And then he's looking at me like, oh, well, the reason why I pulled you over is because you're parked illegally. I'm like, I'm not parked. I'm in the car. I'm waiting for my girlfriend to come out. She went to the Subways. He's like, well, I was just making sure that you weren't parking. I'm like, what? And I'm looking at him confused.
There's
like,
nobody on the block.
It was like the excuse that he gave me for harassing me, and I guess he realized because at the time I already had my credentials in my hand. He looked at my credentials like, okay, you're working, man. I work for the city.
And he also said it was your license plate.
Yeah, and then he said it's my license plate. I have a foreign looking license plate, and it's totally legal to have the license plate I have, but that was the only. Like, he just kept reaching for excuses for why he did it. And I'm like, man, at the end of the day, he just let me go. Luckily, he let us go.
Even before that. So in the car, I was like, are we getting arrested? Like, what's going on here? Like, are we going to jail? What did we do wrong? We live around the corner.
And that's black women. They're very protective of their men.
I just wanted to clarify what was happening because I felt uncomfortable. Like, I felt the intensity. Like, I felt the intensity as soon as they came up to the car. I was like, something's going to happen. Like, I mean, with the grace of God, thank God, nothing happened. But I did feel uncomfortable, and I was very, very fearful and very, very scared for him and for my unborn child. I'm like, are we gonna be shot dead in this empty block? And there was no one here to witness anything, They could always lie, and I do believe that the cops do cover up stuff to protect themselves and each other.
And it's sad because, like, Fab was talking to me. She's like, yo, why you so calm? I'm like, yo, I've been dealing with this for like years.
I was angry.
I was dealing with this since I was 18.
I was angry.
So it's like, I know the protocol. I know I wasn't doing anything wrong, but at the same time,
even when you're not doing anything wrong, they still tend to do stuff.
At the same time, I'm so used to it. I'm so used to being harassed, which is sad to say.
It's sad.
I'm no matter what I'm doing, I get pulled over going to work. I get pulled over just doing regular stuff. So it's like I'm so used to being harassed. It became like the normal for me.
This is how we've always been treated. It's how we've always been treated, and it's sad that I have to explain to my son when he grows up that if he gets pulled over by a cop, these are the things that he needs to follow, and he needs to make sure that he doesn't put his hand in his pocket or reach too fast because he might get shot at. And it's disappointing.
It's sad because like I'm looking at him right now, he's knocked out. He doesn't have a care in the world like what's going on.
And he doesn't know. He doesn't know about racism, about police brutality, and how black people are treated on a daily basis.
And it's like me and her being first generation, African Americans, our parents are both from the Caribbean. When do we have this talk with our son that you're not you're not the same. Like you don't get the same privileges that other kids do get. You have to work harder. You have to be careful. You have to have that mindset that even though you're doing right, you may get caught doing in a wrong situation, even though you have nothing to do with it. And it's like, I don't know when I want to have that talk with him because my father never had that talk with me at a young age. He, as I got older, he got used to, the American lifestyle. He got comfortable talking. He talked to me about it when I was in high school, and at this age, I gotta tell him younger now because you never know. You never know, like, the way things are going is just getting worse.
Yeah, but most importantly, this is why I think we're working so hard to create generational wealth for him, so that he doesn't have to worry about missing out on opportunities and not having that security blanket that some of us didn't come up on, that we didn't have that setup for success. And the system is working against us. That's the part that frightens me the most, is that even if he goes to the best schools, he can still be worked against. No matter what he does.
No matter what he does.
And it's sad to know that like you can put your all and invest in your child, send them to the best schools, and still just from a resume or having an African American name or a name that's too black, it's considered a reason for him not to be hired for a position that he probably is overqualified for or even qualified at point.
Like I really applaud all the protesters out there, all the people that are donating, and I feel like this is the time that we should all do our part. Even if you can't protest, if you can't donate, just try to take something positive from the situation we're going through.
Support black communities.
The little things that you might think that may not affect anything could do the most. You purchasing from a small black business may keep them afloat during this hard time, because also COVID-19 is still going on, so helping
it's been erased from all this stuff that's going on. People are kind of sidetracked now.
We really need to stick together. So if you have the option to buying black, whereas buying from a big corporation, just try the black product out. If it doesn't work out for you, then you can also buy what you're used to, but just give them a try. Like,
I think we need to stick with our people and give our people a chance to build and prevail and be better. It's sad. I mean, we've been the type of couple to always just shop anything and buy anything, but we're definitely more conscious of what we're buying, what we're wearing, what we're investing our money in, because we know that in the long run we need to stick together. They know that if black people stick together, we are more powerful than anything in the world, and they know that, and they're afraid of that. So it's up to us to really take control and push to just support each other, support our communities, and keep the force going.
And like we made a couple steps that we try to like right now we opened up a bank account for Molo. We have a couple bank accounts for him, but we opened up
one black recently. Owned bank.
Yeah, Carver Federal Bank is a black owned bank. So we just said, let's put some money in there and put it under his name.
Let's invest in a black owned bank, a black bank, somebody who will support us.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna keep our regular banks for the convenience, because convenience is very important to us at the same time. But we still said let's put some type of money in a black-owned bank. An investment
in a black-owned bank.
And still, we're like we've been saying this in our previous videos. If you haven't watched them, like support black business. Like the shirt I have on is from my homeboy's clothing line.
So the shirt he has on is from his friend's clothing line. We'll link it in the bio for you guys to catch. Every video we have from the past. We also have t-shirts that we always shout out, companies that we shout out that we wear and that we enjoy. We enjoy the product. Yeah. You're not always going to find something that you love, but if you find something that you love, give it a try and shout these people out. Tag them, repost them. any type of love is love, and that's what people want to see, is that we're supporting each other. They know that we battle, and that's what they like to see, but we need to show them better that we're sticking together.
Because the protesting may come and go, but if you still make those strives to like support black business, that may have the more longevity. I might have the longevity to last longer than the protesting. Let's try something that's just, like I say, contribute, to do your part, and even if you feel like it's very small, it may go a longer way.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's really all we wanted to address today, and just really tell you guys how we're feeling about the situation at hand that's going on, and really take the time to acknowledge it. Just bring it to light. It's not something that we shouldn't talk about on our channel. We are black, and we wanted to make it known that we are supporting our community, and we're trying our best to make sure that our son realizes and can be raised in an environment where there is justice for all. Yeah.
And we're raising a young king at the same time. Like, even though we may come and go, but our legacy is him. So as long as we instill those right things to his mindset, he might, he will live with his head held high as a black man.
All right, but that's all, you guys, and thank you for watching. We are going to put Baby Molo to sleep.
Yeah, I'm surprised he slept this whole video.
I'm shocked too, but we will catch you on the next one, and thank you for watching.